Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry my voice is going out, but I've been getting a lot of DMs and messages on my Twitter and my Instagram talking about long distance and how do I do it, and I wrote down a couple of questions that I was getting. I'm just gonna answer them for you guys. The first question that I got, it says, do they or can they work? My answer for that one is, do they work? You have to be very, very willing and be open to many different things. You can't just be set on one thing because no two people are the same, you know? And I'm in one myself, and I honestly think that they can and they do work. It's just, you have to be willing to take it day by day, and don't expect this to happen. Don't expect certain things to come out of it. You just have to trust the other person and have faith in each other and have faith that it will work. I don't know what, I think it might be mascara on my face, but I don't know. Whatever. The next one is communication. Communication is the main thing with long distance relationship. Communication is like number one. Like, you can't do anything without communication, whether you have a job or whether you have a kid or have a different, you travel out of town. Communication plays a big major role in a long distance relationship, whether it be a couple of texts through the day, a FaceTime call, or just a random call or a random text to just say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on, you know. But communication is main. Sorry, my hair doesn't want to cooperate today. And the other one was, I was asked, is, do you think anyone can do it? And I was like, yeah, anyone can do it. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard starting out if it's like your first time ever being in a long distance relationship. This is my third long distance relationship. The first one I was in for 7 years. It was a terrible relationship. I was mentally abused. It was terrible. Second one, I was a good 3 to 4 months, and me and her met face to face. We hung out and everything. And then in my current one that I'm in currently, me and her have not met yet. We have plans to meet, but we have not met yet. But we do plan on meeting face to face, in person. The next question I got is, how do you deal with not physically touching that person? Well, how I personally deal with it is not being able to physically touch somebody. You don't have to physically touch somebody to know that you have feelings for them or you love them or you want to spend the rest of your life with them. You don't need physical touch. Yeah, physical touch will help and it'll bring you guys closer together, but you have to trust and believe in each other and your significant other as if it's gonna work. You gotta trust and believe and have faith and faithfulness and loyalty and good communication. And the other one is, do you have dates? When it comes to long distance relationships, you can have dates, like FaceTime dates. You could have either, whether it be a movie date or a dinner date. It could be anything, or it just could be spending an hour or two on the phone just talking, or you could even call each other and go to sleep together. I mean, anything will do. I mean, you're still spending time with each other. You are spending one-on-one time with each other, not any interruptions or anything. You're just one-on-one time with the person that you're with, whether it be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever it may be. And the next question I got is, do I get lonely? Hell yes, I get lonely. Very lonely. But lonely, it plays a big part, because you do get lonely because you're so mentally and physically attached to this person that you're with, to the point where you just want to talk to them 24/7. You want to FaceTime consistently. You want to be on the phone or whatever, or watch movies, but yeah, you get lonely because when the other person has a job or you don't have a job, or it's just, you have a lot of time on your hands. You constantly get in your head. And that is one thing that you cannot do. Do not, and I repeat, do not get in your head, because your head will play mind games on you. Your head will trick you into saying, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you don't do this. You don't do this. Getting in your head will mess with you, and it will mess with your brain. Like, just don't do that. And the other one says, how do you get out of your comfort zone? Well, most long-distance relationships, you have to step out of your comfort zone anyway, because you have to talk a lot more. You have to put a lot of effort into each other. You can't just talk a day here or a day there and expect it to work, because it won't. You can't just go like an hour or talk for 5 minutes and then just say, oh, this is gonna work, this is gonna be good, I'm gonna go long ways in this relationship, because it won't work, because it will not work. You need to talk more. I mean, if you need to, just get a night where you guys just have a heart-to-heart talk. You get emotional with it if you have to. I mean, you can't never go wrong with being emotional, you know? The next one, it was just this girl, she left a comment and said that couples that are right for each other will come out stronger, and she's correct. Because if you guys trust in each other and you guys have enough faith and loyalty and confidence that it's going to work, and then it's going to work. You just have to have faith and believe that long distance relationships is going to work. Some people, yes, they meet each other. Yes, they are able to see each other within probably a couple weeks at a time, or going from place to place to place, or you go there or they come here, no matter what it may be. But in my case, I'm not as privileged as many others. We have to wait months and months and months and months to where I'm able to even meet her face to face for the first time. Yeah, it's hard, but it's gonna work, because I have faith and I have trust in her, and I've trusted myself that it's gonna work regardless, no matter what it is. Excuse me. And another thing is, there's always going to be times where, say your significant other that you're with has a job and they have to travel out of town, like my girlfriend does. She travels numerous times out of a week to go out of town because she's a surgical tech. But you know, everyone's like, how do you do that? How do you be okay with not talking to her a couple days at a time? But I mean, she's a surgical tech. She has a major job. She has someone else's life on her hands. And everyone's like, oh, how do you do that? How do you put up with not talking to her for like 2-3 days at a time? You have to have trust and you have to have faith. And everyone's like, well, what if she finds someone else? You just don't think like that. Yeah, it crosses your mind, but you just have to have faith and trust in that person, that person will no longer picture themselves with someone else other than you, because you have to picture yourself. If it's the way you feel, you have to picture yourself as if you don't want to be with nobody else. Because when it comes to her, she's the only one that I want to be with. She's the only one that makes me happy. She's the only one that keeps me content. And everyone's like, well, what if it goes wrong? And what if you're left in the dust and all this and that? But it's just something you have to be okay with doing. You can't just jump into it. Like if it's your first relationship, or it's like your I would say first encounter with long distance, I wouldn't recommend it, because long distance is hard. And some people, if it's their first time for a long distance relationship, they will get scared and back out, or get scared and run away from the relationship, and they just give up on it. But you can't give up. You can't run away. If you have a problem, if you're fighting or you're arguing, never leave. Never leave it on a bad note, because leaving something on a bad note, or leaving an argument on a bad note, it'll just make things worse. and it will draw you guys apart, and you don't want that, especially when you're already in a long distance relationship as it is, and you don't want to draw each other apart farther than you already are, literally. But as I was saying before, long distances are really hard. But if you love that person and you cherish that person for who they are and what they do, you have to be willing to tie their schedule into your schedule and loop it around your life, because sooner rather than later, your life will be tied into theirs as well. And it will make everything a whole lot easier. And what else was I going to say? As I was saying about planning dates and communication, dates, I would say they do help. They help a lot because you spend one-on-one time, as I said, and it sucks when holidays roll around because you can't spend holidays together. Today is Christmas, and I don't know if I'll be able to talk to her today or not, or being able to see her face to face, or take holiday pictures together, or have her meet my family, and all this and that. Like, it's hard because holidays you're supposed to be or want to be with your significant other, and have time to spend with them on a special holiday. But when you're in long distance, you have to deal with what you gotta do, you know? You can't just do this and then expect it to just jump off, and you can't expect it to work. You have to take it step by step by step, day by day by day, little by little. You can't just take a big chunk out of it and say, oh, this is gonna work, oh, this is gonna do this, this is gonna do this. Like, you just can't take a big leap, because if you take a big leap when you're not ready, you're gonna fall 10 steps back. You gotta take a small jump. That way, if you take a small jump, you may fall back. You may do a little fall back, but that comes with long distance relationships. No matter, you can have an argument, you could have a falling out, you could do whatever. You just have to fix it within that night. You can't give up. You can't do. Most people that aren't in long distance relationships would go in another room, or sit there and argue face to face, or walk across the house. But in long distance relationships, all you have is that phone call, or that text message, or that FaceTime call. That's all you have. That's all you have to depend on. That's all you have. You have communication. Like, when it comes to long distance relationships, FaceTime, communication, and texting, that's really all you have to depend on. You have the other person to depend on. But other people would say, oh, long distance are stupid, or they never work, but from what I've seen, long distances, they get knocked down to the ground a lot. They say, oh, people can't do them, they're terrible, they're stupid. But I've been in a couple, and they're hard, yes, but in the outcome, when you're able to see that person face to face for the very first time, it makes it all better. And I'm so beyond ready to just be able to see her face to face and just hold her and be able to spend time with her, you know? And that gives me something to look forward to. Because being in a long distance relationship, it's hard. It's a lot of emotions. You cry, you panic, and you have anxiety. I have anxiety as it is. But because there's always thoughts. There's always going to be thoughts going through your head. No matter, you always say, what if she finds someone better? What if I'm not good enough? There's always going to be something roaming through your head, because there's always going to be a thought. But you can't let those thoughts overrule what your current situation is. You can't let it overrule you, and you can't let it overtake you and get the better side of you. Because if you let those thoughts get the better side of you, then it's just going to make matters worse and tough for the both of you. Not only you, but your significant other as well, because then you will get stressed out, and then they will get stressed out as well, because they try to instill in your head that you are good enough, you're beautiful, you're worth it, and you're valid to them. And everything they do will be the best. And when it all comes down to it, at the end of the night, you're with that person. And everyone says, how could you love someone, but yet they're still so far away? I get this question a lot. How can you love someone you never met? Or how can you love someone that's so far away from you? You never touched them, you never hugged them, you never held their hand, or anything. It aggravates me, because love is love, no matter what it is. It could be a distance, it could be face to face. It's still love. Love, 4-letter word, Love. It's big. You can get love. There's different kinds of love. There's love for your best friend. There's love for your parents. There's love for your siblings. But once you find love for your significant other, or you have love for another person that's different from a love that you have for your parents, or your daughter, or your son, or your siblings, it's a different kind of love. And it's a different kind of love that you cling to, you hold on to, you hold on tight to it, because it's something that you don't get often. And once you find love like that, you don't want to let it go. You hold on to it and you cling to it as if it's the last bit of love you're going to get. So you cling to it with all that you have. And I would say, in my position, I cling to every word she says. I cling to it with every breath in my body. I cling to it. When she says I love you, I cling to it, like I really do. When she says I love you, or she says I'm beautiful, or it's just something that makes it all better. I'm probably sounding stupid, but it makes matters better when you have that one-on-one time, or you have a person that loves you, and you know they love you, and you love them in return. You know that they love you, and they say they love you, and you trust and believe in them, and they trust and believe in you. It's all gonna work out. You can't give up. Never give up. You just can't give up on it. If you want it to work and you really, really love that person, no distance is gonna tear you apart, no matter if it's 100 miles, 200 miles, 1,000 miles, or 3,654 miles, whether it be 18 hours, 6 hours, 2 hours. It's still a distance, and love is gonna work. Love will find its way to fix itself. It will find a way to work, and it'll get done. It'll work itself out. But at the end of the day, you can't give up. That's all I can really tell you. Or it all comes down to saying don't give up, and you have to trust and believe in your partner and say, I will not give up. This is going to work. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope my little bit of advice was helpful, I guess. But I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if I don't post before the New Year, have a good New Year and live life to the fullest. Bye, guys.